For NYUpInSyracuse.com, I am Matt Parrino coming to you from inside AT&T Stadium on this very, very late night of Thanksgiving 2019, where your Buffalo Bills improved to 9-3. That's 3 in a row here. Big win on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. Second winning team with a winning record that the Bills have knocked off this year, and it comes in outstanding fashion. I mean, we're talking about a big-time game, big-time atmosphere, a lot of pressure on this team going on the road, 4 days rest, and going in here and trying to make a statement. And they'll say that it wasn't a statement game, but in a lot of ways it was. And we'll go through all of the ways they made that statement, but where we have to start is where we always have to start, and that's Josh Allen, because I wrote about it this morning. Can Josh Allen deliver with everything on the line, on the road, big kind of atmosphere against a really good defense for his third week in a row? And he came out here and did exactly that. Almost 270 yards of total offense, 2 touchdowns. That makes 8 straight games where Josh Allen has 2 or more touchdowns in a game. That's the longest streak in Bills history. It is the longest active streak right now in the NFL. Josh Allen came out today and he was accurate. I think I tweeted out during the game, it was kind of the ultimate kind of like middle finger, if you will, to all of the haters and all of the critics. This is a guy that has been absolutely criticized over and over and over again for his inability to be accurate. I mean, you go back to his rookie season, 52% completion percentage, a lot of balls that just kind of left you scratching your head. And today, on display for the entire nation, 79% completion rate. That is just unbelievable, thinking about where he was as a prospect coming into the league, what he did last year. And he came out here, he spread it around, he got Cole Beasley involved back here in Dallas, where he spent the first 7 years of his 7 seasons of his career, and he was dynamic today. 6 catches, 110 yards, a big touchdown that got the scoring started for the Buffalo Bills. And you know, this game, it was interesting. You knew that Dallas was probably going to come out with the #1 ranked offense in the league and hit the Bills in the mouth. Ed Oliver, who we'll talk about in a little bit, he said, we got hit in the mouth, but we responded, and that's what good teams do. They came out here, they went up 7-0. The Bills then had 2 straight series where they had to punt. But then things started to kind of get figured out. Josh Allen orchestrates an 85-yard touchdown drive, finds Beasley to close it off. Devin Singletary, not his best day, but a very consistent game. Couple big runs, and then the turnovers happening. Going into this game, that was one of my biggest points, is the Bills have to start turning the ball over when they're playing these better teams. And today, Ed Oliver with a strip sack. Star Lotulelei, that's right, you heard it right. Star Lotulelei with an interception to set up Ed Oliver. They didn't score on that one. They got the short field and weren't able to come away with any points. Stephen Hauschka, we'll talk about him in a minute, missed a field goal. But on the next series, Ed Oliver, strip sack, beats his man, game of inches. He's talked about it over and over again, and in this one he won, batted the ball out of Dak Prescott's hand. The Bills got the ball back, and a little trickeration with 2 minutes to go in the half. Double reverse pitch to Andre Roberts, then to John Brown, who throws it to Devin Singletary for a touchdown. It was really unbelievable. The internet went ablaze, and that's the kind of thing you have to do on the road. You got to switch things up, and Brian Daboll's been a guy, the offensive coordinator of the Bills, that's kind of come under some heat this season. And I've maintained, I don't think that was necessarily the problem. I think that this is an offense with 9 new starters that needed some time to build its continuity. And that's what we saw on display today. An offense that is hitting its stride, coming into, about to hit December on the calendar, playing its best football of the season, and that's absolutely huge. And Josh Allen, he has, 3 things really going for him. Number 1, he has an understanding of this offense with Daboll, great relationship with him. Number 2, leader in the locker room. He's somebody that this team just rallies around. They want to play for him and with him and lift him up. And number 3 is he's shown an ability to be coached and to improve, and he's improving in so many different areas. Hit a couple big throws today. Like I said, 2 more touchdowns. Big day for this offense. Everybody was talking about Josh Allen by the time this was done. Another guy that they were talking about was Ed Oliver. Absolutely monstrous day. Jordan Phillips says he was played like the number 9 overall pick today because he's a beast. Jerry Hughes, his teammate on the edge there, said he was absolutely electric, and he really was. You're just seeing the lights start to go off each and every week. And he never wavered in his confidence of his ability. Came out today, made big plays, went to school down in Houston, so he was playing a little bit extra. He had a lot of people in the stands. Houston and Dallas, I guess those two groups of people don't really like each other. It's a very competitive situation that Ed Oliver talked about, and he came in here and he wanted to make a statement, and he did. I saw some questions. I put it out on Twitter, and I'll talk about a few of the things that, I don't want this to be too long, but I'll talk about a few of those things. Stephen Hauschka, is he a problem? You know, he banked in a kick, he missed a kick, and he made a kick. And we're getting to the point in the season where you're going to start to play really good teams. Baltimore, New England. You played a pretty good one today, even though they're kind of reeling a bit and they didn't play as well. But you know, you need your kicker to be reliable, and at times Stephen Hauschka hasn't been there. I still think there's a sense of belief, and I think they're going to ride with him throughout the rest of this season. But if he doesn't rectify things in these final 4 games and into the playoffs, that could be a position that the Bills look to, you know, replace in the offseason, despite the extension that they just gave him. And then in terms of the division, in terms of the conference, where do the Bills lie? We're looking at a very, very big game here now in 10 days. Lamar Jackson's Baltimore Ravens against Josh Allen's Buffalo Bills. It could be a playoff preview if the Bills can win a playoff game once they get there. The division, it's funny, if the Patriots falter here at all over the next couple weeks, they've been sick this week, dealing with some sickness running through the team. If they fall a couple times, all of a sudden, that's the second last game of the season becomes very interesting. And I think the Bills can beat Pittsburgh. I think the Bills can beat the Jets. And then you got Baltimore and New England. And, you know, we're talking about, you know, yes, you have to start taking this team seriously and put them at least in those games. New England on the road, Baltimore at home. So we'll figure that out. Should you be worried about the defense? They gave up over 400 yards for the first time this season. No, this is a very good offense, guys. Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, who was held under 100 yards rushing for, I believe, the 3rd straight game. It might be the 4th. I'd have to go check my notes. But that's a good day. That's an impressive performance. And what they did is, when you're facing a good team that can move the football, you got to do things to keep them off of their game. You got to turn the ball over. You got to get after the passer. That was a critical key for me going into this game, getting after Dak Prescott. And you could see the way that this defensive line really got in his face and made things uncomfortable for him in the second half. And that was the story of the game. And, you know, a couple failed 4th down conversions, 2 turnovers, and the Bills offense doing their job, scoring over 20 points. Most of the time with this defense, if the Bills can score over 20 points, they're going to have some success. So very exciting time. I thank you so much for the last couple of days. We put out a lot of content. Everybody's eating it all up. It's a fun time to be a part of this Bills Mafia community, bringing you guys all the content from inside the locker room with the team on the road here in Dallas. It's been super fun. I'll be back in Buffalo in a couple of days. We'll talk more about it. And as always, for all your Bills content, NY up at Syracuse.com. Keep it locked right there.